Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Today I have a little package I got off of eBay, and let's just go ahead and crack this one open and see what we got inside. Not certain on this one. It was lately, a lot of the packages I grab are in that like $20, $25 range, which I have a hard time resisting. They're just too much fun, and definitely entertain, well, hopefully you. But I have gotten a lot of comments about how they like these pin videos, so we will probably continue our addiction as long as the fun money holds out. What do we got here? World Reserve Monetary Exchange. Okay. Oh, this is very nicely packaged. Unlike that last one that I had, which was, well, still got some loose stuff. Should make sure there's nothing else in that package there. No, looks like we're good. All right. Let's just go ahead and start off with whatever we got going on here. I don't know if there's going to be any gold in here, maybe some silver. It was one of those where things were cheap enough that they were just worth grabbing. So, you know, a lot of these are just little. If we look here, we've got, what do we have? We have, I'm guessing this is 1942. Little copper pin. Probably something related to a high school jacket, maybe. Sometimes these are gold. That one is definitely brass. You can tell, not only just from that kind of rough back that has a filled in look to it, but we even have, looks like we have a little verdigris. But yeah, so that was probably gold plated, that one. This one is interesting. So one of the signs that this is better than average is that see the stone right there is actually staked in. You can see where the metal was punched around it to keep it in place. Now, believe it or not, sometimes even things this tarnished can end up being gold. Low-karat gold will tarnish. 10-karat gold will tarnish under the right circumstances. This one, though, I don't think so. I think it's probably just plate. By the looks of it, the construction quality is a little bit better than average, but not super duper. Why don't we zoom out for a second, and let's just hit it with this little polish rag that I happen to have sitting here and see what it does, shall we? See what one of these can look like. Give you an idea of what something can look like when it's been just cleaned up a little bit versus, yeah. So that's cleaned up just a touch, and it sure starts to shine up. Now, on an auction, you could be forgiven if you thought that with bad pictures was a bit of gold, old low-karat gold. So I really want to make it clear when you're buying some of this stuff. I have fun buying these and looking through them, and when they're cheap, I think they're worth it for the entertainment. But if you think you're buying gold, just remember these things can look pretty dang good when you shine them up a touch. Part of why I really like the old pins is because they're dirty and they're tarnished, and you know it's easier to tell if they're old and used that they are gold, because if they're old and dirty but still shiny, you know you've got gold involved in that in some way. But you know, in this case, this piece wasn't gold, but it shines up pretty dang quick when you, even with just a little rag there, if I were to actually clean this thing would probably look really nice. And it might definitely fool you into thinking you're buying gold. All right, what else we got here? Definitely brass. You can see all that green verdigris. It's been degrading. Yep. Thinking we got the same thing here. This one's in nicer shape, but it's also, I think you're starting, if you've been on my channel for a while, you start to see that brass look, what that means, that little gold plate look that I try to point out, which is kind of the point of a lot of these videos. Speaking of gold plate, there we have that very distinct gold plate look, don't we? The other thing about this, if we flip it over here, it has the stones are glued in, as you can see. Even though they have what looks like stakes around them, they're not actually staked in, they're just glued in. And those are tells for lower quality costume jewelry. Okay, I'm just gonna set that over there. What do we have in here? That is the Squadron. Oh, look at that. Is that a Scorpion? Royal Air Force? I can't quite read it. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'll polish this up. Okay, gave this thing a little bit of a scrub and a little bit of a polish. Not much. I didn't want to make it look new. I just wanted you to read what it says. Squadron, Royal Air Force. We got Scorpion. Scorpio S. PU something. 8484. That is pretty cool. Definitely brass, but very cool nonetheless. I'm not sure what that would have gone on, or if there was something here that it was connected to at one point. It doesn't really look like it. I'm not sure. Definitely brass, but a cool thing nonetheless. What else do we have for cool things? We have American Mothers Committee Incorporated member. And then we have proper old USO pin. Look at that, that's pretty cool. So, cool stuff. Although, no gold or silver yet. Let's go ahead and put this away. I have all these old fraternal things in here. You never know what'll be in a lot like this. I think this one was cheap just because it was a lot of leftovers, probably. But sometimes you get surprised. Okay, so these I do know. In fact, I think they're probably all the same thing. I don't know about this one, but these are all for discharge. Discharge from the Army, I believe. The nickname for these is a ruptured duck because they look like a ruptured duck. Sometimes these are sterling, and they will tell you. I don't see any of these as being sterling. And then these ones are, honorable discharge from the Naval Reserve. So these are the Naval Reserve version, it would appear. I don't know if those are silver. There's some excellent military collectors who'll probably be able to say if those are silver, and maybe even be able to say what this is. I'm not sure what that indicates. But those are all military. Let's continue through the pile. Zoom out so you don't get motion sickness there. All right. What do we have here? just some flags, cheapies. Before we investigate this too much, let's see if it's, yeah. So it's not going to be precious metal. Pretty well made. Don't know. ZLS 61. I don't know what that is. We'll put that back in there, and maybe somebody can tell us what that is and if it's something that I should be paying special attention to. All right, and this is probably all lion stuff. Now, if you see lion stuff, it'll often look good, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, very little of the actual lion stuff ends up being precious metals. Most of it is at best gold fill, and even then, the stuff will look really good, and then it's just plate. Now, eagles can be good, at least in my experience. And this one, what does that say down there? I think that's just the maker. The maker, sterling. Can't complain about that. So we didn't get totally skunked. We got a little bit of sterling, although, if I'm honest, I'm guessing the 25 years bit may be sterling and the rest is probably not. Although, that stone does seem to be... Oh, no, that stone is glued in. You can see what I mean, that it's got those... It's got the little studs sticking up to make it look like it's higher quality. So I think the only bit of sterling we have so far is that. But a little bit of sterling's better than none. American Legion, this one looks like brass. Yeah, you can just see from the color that it's brass. American Legion can definitely be gold, though, as can Loyal Order of the Moose. Although I think this one is probably just brass. It's got that. It doesn't have a gold look to it. Yeah, I don't see any indication that this would be gold. But since we're doing it for this video anyways, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to polish this up and show you why this might look like gold, even though it's just brass. All right, a few moments with a cloth. You start to see how it shines up. Starts looking real nice. Now, obviously, this is still dirty. But, you know, if you were to polish one of these properly, you could be forgiven if you thought, man, this looks like gold to me now. See, it's so good that you can get just a little bit of that tarnish off, and now I've got to test this and see if it's gold. And I think what we're going to find is that it's not. But if it is, I think probably what will have happened is I will have just scrubbed a whole bunch of dirt off of it. I don't think it's going to be gold, but you know what? We'll test it. Oh, and this is definitely not gold. That's definitely brass. Okay, I'm going to pause here. We'll set up a test, and we'll do a test real quick. All right, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do the edge here. We'll do the edge in the back on this side right over here. There we go. And then I'm also going to do the face of the moose nose, right over here. Moose nose. Okay. Nose back. And we're just going to hit it with a little bit of 10 karat test acid. And it should start disappearing. You can see there's the back going away. There's the face going away. So I hope this is a good little lesson on, just because something looks like it's gold doesn't mean it's not brass. A lot of the stuff is brass, and when you're looking at an online auction in particular, if someone wants you to think something's gold, they can just do a little bit of polishing. Now, I spent virtually no time on that. I just hit it with this old messed up rag I've got that I found at a garage sale for polishing silver. And I only hit it for, maybe 30 seconds. And I got this thing looking good enough that I started to excite myself just because it starts to look more and more like gold. But, a quality brass pin like this will polish up beautifully. But as we've been talking, you see it's gone completely away. So that is not a 10-karat pin. I hope you found this information valuable, and I hope you can use it to go out and find yourself some treasure. Have a great day.
Like this, I've been Thomas.